Somebody is not as playful today as he was yesterday. Let's see if he'll play with this. Today's video is one of these heartwarming videos that involves a precious kitty who took care of a baby, her kitten, during a time when there was war. Her name was Faith. And when you hear this story, you're going to feel heartwarmed. I had some tears over this precious story. So Faith was a beautiful kitty, a beautiful tabby that reminds me of Neffy. Yes, just as beautiful as Neffy in this new outfit. So she was a stray kitty, and in 1936, she started to show up at a church called St. Faith's and St. Augustine's Church in London, and it's a church that's right by St. Paul's Cathedral. It was World War II. She ended up receiving a PDSA silver medal for her bravery in caring for her kitten when the church was bombed. She came back to the church after having been put out 3 different times by the church's rector, and then the Father Ross, he was the person, his name was Father Henry Ross, who took care of her once he discovered that this was happening. He decided to keep her, and he brought her in. He kept her after she had shown up at the top of the rectory stairs, being thin and hungry, and she was clearly a stray. He kept her, he named her Faith, and let her be the church cat. She used to do mousing, but so adorably. She would actually go to the church services that he gave. She would attend it with him. She either sat in the front pew, or she would be right down by his feet at the pulpit. And everyone in the church absolutely fell in love with her. She had already become popular just because of that. 4 years went by when she was doing that. Well, in August of 1940, she had a kitten. Yes, she had only one kitten, a little boy, and the church ended up naming him Panda. So this was interesting because September the 6th of that year, she literally started carrying Panda out of the warm church and down into the basement. The father, "Oh, you can stay." "Yes, you can." So she was repeatedly carrying the baby down the stairs into the basement, and everybody was wondering why, because she was absolutely insisting on it. And the father, basically, they tried to bring the kitten up 3 different times, and the mommy would protest. After a while, they realized that she might feel like her kitten was in danger, little Panda. So they ended up letting Panda stay down in the basement with the mommy. Well, the air raid siren started, and the church ended up being bombed on September the 9th. And in those bombings in that neighborhood, 400 people died. Father Henry Ross had managed to have shelter elsewhere, but he came to realize that she might still be alive because she was down in the basement. That next morning, he went down, and amidst all of the rubble and amidst all of the hell and the difficulty that was there, wherever even the roof was at risk of collapsing, he realized that she might be there, even after some firemen had suggested that she probably didn't make it and they didn't see how she could have. But he found her and the kitten. He said that everything was smoking, and there was this piece of rubble, and there was this corner where she was just serenely nursing her kitten, as though nothing was wrong. And her and the kitten had survived, so he rescued them, he brought them out, and very shortly after he brought them out, the entire roof collapsed. So he saved their lives, but she saved her kitten's life by knowing instinctively that something was going to happen 3 days before the bombing and bringing the kitten down there where they could survive. They both survived, and once they rebuilt the church, she actually used to attend church again right after that. She continued, and they kept Panda as a church kitty too. Yes, absolutely precious. And then, a few years later, 5 years later, the Archbishop of Canterbury awarded her the PDSA Silver Medal for what she did, for her bravery in keeping her kitten alive down there, and even knowing to go down the stairs like that. That was just amazing. So on October the 12th of 1945, there was a huge celebration at the church when she was brought out. She was given a special plate of fish, and she had that silver medal put around her neck. Absolutely precious. She was published in newspapers all over the world after that. She was given a second silver medal by a visiting American from the Greenwich Village Humane League of New York in New York City. I think that's just amazing. She ended up having a portrait painted. Her story ended up being in a book called They Also Serve, that was about the animal heroes that helped people and helped with their bravery during the war. And then 3 years after all of that had happened, she quietly passed away one day, just laying down on her favorite Persian rug by the fire in the father's rectory. But when she left an amazing story. An amazing kitty, and Panda was still there too. And a whole lot of people who look at animals a whole new way and who recognize the value of that intuition and that instinct that she had. Absolutely, to save her baby. That was an amazing story, and even though this little guy is not a very playful one today, I'm still very glad to share this story with you, and I hope it warms your heart as much as it does mine. Well, thank you all so very much for watching this video today. If you like the contents of our videos, don't forget to take those paws and paw that like button. You can paw the subscription button, and you can paw the notification bell, where you can see all of Nuffy Cat's videos. Well, thank you all so very much, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.